those of you that don't know me, a little bit about my background. I've been exploring the nature of reality and the intersection of science and spirituality for over a decade. I launched one of the first VC funds in consciousness tech in 2017. As an early investor and advisor to a little-known company at the time called Aura Ring, and helped them grow to over a $5.5 billion valuation. I became a Wall Street Journal bestselling author in 2023. And right now, I'm playing with this question with friends like Nicole about how we can collectively move $1 trillion towards measurably raising human consciousness by 2030. And I'm a great dad joke teller. Which, by the way, I was talking to my doctor this morning, and he told me my DNA is backwards. I said, and? No? Okay. I won't quit my day job. What's that? So, welcome to the vital track. Vitality starts in the body, but it doesn't stop there. It expands into how we create, live, and love. So inside of this track, some of the topics that you'll be hearing from some of the greatest speakers and thought leaders are AI and preventative health, behavioral science and AI coaching. We're going to hear about human-centered tech and NEC's vitality vision, some consumer-led longevity movements, and Vedic wisdom and mental health. And really it's about this idea of longevity and growing old in a healthy way, but I don't like calling it getting old. I call it outliving the warranty. Maybe I'm not a great dad joke teller after all. My kids keep telling me you're not funny, Dad, so thanks for validating that. So let's quickly talk about this sector of longevity and preventative health. So $9.8 billion has been invested in startups in 2025, this year alone. That's up from $1 billion in 2020. Function Health, Dr. Mark Hyman's company, reached a $2.5 billion valuation in under 12 months. Altos Labs launched a $3 billion funding backed by Jeff Bezos, and 70% of chronic diseases are now considered preventable. 70% of chronic diseases are considered preventable. Let that land for a sec. Global preventative health market projected to reach $600 billion by 2027. And longevity tech is now targeting health span, not just lifespan. So I'm just sharing some of this data with you so you see, as a Canadian, the analogy I would give is this is where the puck is headed. So this is a good track to understand. I already talked about Hyman's company. So what's interesting for us to realize is why and how this massive amount of investment is going into this idea of living longer. And it's because a lot of these wealthy older gentlemen who made a shit ton of money realize that after you make so much money, that might not actually be the only reason why we exist. And so now what they're doing is they're investing to live longer so they can actually realize and figure out why we're really here. And so we get to benefit from that. And really, it's not just about longevity. It's about soul fulfillment. It's about this idea of vitality and, living in the body in this temple is something that actually, when Nicole asked me to captain this track, I actually had a lot of resistance to it because I consider myself as someone who's, on the path of spiritual development and personal growth. And this idea of talking about the physical body, it was actually uncomfortable because the truth is, I've been really insecure about this aspect of my life. And when Nicole asked me, it actually opened up a whole lot for me inside of myself to look at all the ways that I might actually not be mentally, emotionally, and spiritually optimized because my temple looked like this. That was 12 years ago. And so I've been really working hard to, really shift this temple, because our consciousness emanates from inside of this temple where we practice and awaken ourselves. And I was bypassing it and not really looking in the mirror until just when Nicole asked me to take on this track, and I had to look and realize, like, shit, I need to focus on this, because if I'm not taking care of the temple that I am residing in, then the foundation for spiritual development is only going to be limited by that ceiling. So I love acronyms. I'm an acronym guy. So the acronym for VITAL is that I wanted to propose is V is for the vessel, I is for integration, T truth, A is amplification, L is liberation. And when you put this all together, this is the journey from optimizing the vessel to integrating the soul, living in truth, amplifying our frequency, and ultimately liberating our full human potential. And for those of you here in this room, in this space right now, you came because you felt called. And what I want to invite, when we talk to our kids, we have 3 boys, 13, 11, and 9. And when we really want to cultivate presence, we talk about whole body listening. And so you're here at this, Human+Tech Week conference, listening to people talk, and you can only absorb so much content through the mind. And so what I invite you to do is, while you're in this field and vortex of transformation, really feel the depth of your own temple, this own vessel that you have. And so it's not just about taking in content, because content, as you know, is so easily accessible now, but it's really about being fully present. Because we're not going to outthink AI, we're not going to out-talk AI, but we can out-embody AI, and that's what we're here to do. Embodiment is the new intelligence. Consciousness is the upgrade. Welcome to the vital era.